Hello everyone, Scott from Pantheon here. Today we will connect Content Publisher to an existing WordPress site. Content Publisher, if you're not familiar, is a new product we've just launched, which allows you to create content in Google Docs and publish it directly to your CMS. It does a lot more, but today we will focus on the setup and basics. Here's what we will do. After we sign up, we will then connect your Google Workspace to the Content Publisher service. Then we will drop a plugin into your CMS that allows you to fetch the content you've pushed from Google Docs and display it on your WordPress site. So that sounds like fun, right? Let's get started. The first thing we want to do is sign up for the service. Content Publisher has a free plan. When you sign up, you initially receive 30 days of enterprise features, after which it transitions to a free plan, allowing you to continue using it. So let's do that. $0 a month sounds like a good price for me, so let's start our free trial. Then we'll authenticate in our Google Workspace. Now we've created an account. Next, we have to create a new collection. A collection is like a virtual folder where all the Google Docs that you'll be pushing to your WordPress site will reside. That folder has the authentication setup and the necessary permissions for your team to access and publish safely within it. I already have a bunch of collections created, but you won't, so we need to create one of those. So let's click Create New Collection. We have an existing site, so just to keep it simple, I'm going to give my collection name the same name as my site. Then we need to enter the URL. Remove the trailing slash, then click Continue. Here we have to make a decision regarding permissions. We can decide who gets access to this collection by adding their email or granting them admin permissions if desired, or we can just say that anyone with a company email, essentially anyone who's part of the workspace, can access it. So to be safe, let's go with the former. And the collection is created. You now have your very own collection dashboard. And there's some info here. There's a collection ID. We'll need that in a minute. Then there are tokens. We're going to use those too in a sec. And then down here, we have our content tree, which is kind of the hierarchy of the Google Docs that you're going to create, and they're going to reside in here. This is where content admins do their work, adding users, changing settings, and so on. There's one more thing we want to do to connect the workspace to Content Publisher, and that's install the Google add-on. For that, we go to this URL. We will grant it full access to the workspace. Now we've connected the Google Workspace to Pantheon. Next, we need to set up our site to access and publish the content we create in Google Docs. Let's get the plugin set up. From your admin dashboard in WordPress, click Plugins, then Add Plugin. Search for Pantheon Content Publisher. One thing to keep in mind is that if the site's on Pantheon, make sure it's in SFTP mode, which mine is. You can always use Git mode to install it if you want. Just clone the repo, add the plugin to your local environment, then push it back up. I'm going to do it the easy way and just use SFTP. So now I'm going to select the plugin, and I'll install it. After I install it, I click Activate. In the Plugins configuration section, select Connect to an existing collection, the one we just created. Here, we need to add the collection ID and a token. For the collection ID, let's go back to the dash. I'm going to copy this here. And I'm going to paste it in here. Next, I'll go get a token, which can also be found on my collections page. We go to the tokens and create an access token. We choose the specific collection, which is this one right here. We give it a name, and it gets created. I'll copy it here. Once we close this, we won't be able to retrieve it again, so please make sure to copy it and store it somewhere safe. And then I'm going to go back to the site and I'm going to paste that in here, and my collection is ready. Also in the settings, you have the option to treat Content Publisher documents as posts or pages. For this case, I'll select Pages. We also need to retrieve this webhook URL for the next step. I'll return to the dashboard, go to Collection Settings, click on Webhooks, and add a new webhook. Here I'll paste the URL I just copied. I'll add my username and password to authenticate the webhook, and then I'll save. All right, it's time to create a new doc. What am I going to write about? Okay, I've created my doc and I'm ready to publish it. I'll open my Google add-on, select the collection, and connect to it. Let's preview it to see how it looks. And here it is in all of its wonderfully themed splendor. And what a content writer can do now is look at the preview of the page, and if they need to make any edits, such as these small content tweaks, they can do that and see their changes in real time. And then when it's ready to go, we publish. Here we can view it on the live site. So that's an overview of how to get set up. There's a lot more to Content Publisher, like approval workflows, components, and web styles. Spend some time getting to know how it can work for you and your team. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us.